Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to London Station. Sorry for the delay. I was about to go live and then immediately had to sneeze. And I was like, come on, get out. Took a minute. Managed to eat today. That was good. Happy Saturday. It's March 7th already. Get your stretches in. Get your coffee, tea, whatever you're having. Water. Water's always welcome. We're back with more Astroprisma. We're going to recap what we've done in the first couple sessions. I was going to sing a song today, but I don't feel good enough to, so that's not going to happen, unfortunately. But exciting for today's stream. I've got the Astroprisma soundtrack locked and loaded and ready to go. I was going to actually swap this song out with it, with the theme. But OBS did not like it as a single MP3 file for some reason. It kept cutting out, so anyway, we'll pivot over to that. But, hope you're doing well. If you're catching this later, hope you're also doing well whenever you're catching it. Nice sunny day here where I'm at. And I hope you've got good weather too. Pepper, I see you said you hadn't watched the last one, and that's okay. Do a little recap. But if you want to get the... oh, I just broke something. If you want to get the full picture, go ahead and watch that second stream before you catch this one. We got into some combat last time, actually, so we got to see how that works. Pretty simple resolution. You're basically lining up against the enemies and throwing some dice at them. And it was actually a little dicey there for a second, no pun intended. We got knocked down to half of our health, and that was rough. So, anyway, let me make sure I have everything I need up and ready. Is there anything I wanted to talk about before we started today that I haven't already gotten? No, I don't think so. Let's just do it. Let's come on over here. There's Owo, hanging out in the chat again. Welcome back to Astroprisma. So, we started out, this is our third gameplay session of Astroprisma. The first session was about 50% character creation, ship creation, and the rest was a little bit of exploration. And then last time we got to go at it full bore. Let me get some music going. In fact, let me do the Astroprisma theme. And you guys can see how much of a vibe that is.
20 seconds and counting.
Yeah, there we go. And I did check with Crescent Chimera, and she said that, yeah, this whole soundtrack is copyright-free and free to use, so that's pretty great. I did actually buy the audio files and download them when it came out, so I could throw them on my phone. Let me know if the volume needs to come down, because I'm doing it manually through VLC today. But we started out, here's our little ship down here. This is the slip shot, and we started out here on the star, as you do. We started to explore this way. We found a ship in distress that was being attacked by an alien monster because they had brought an alien egg on board. And that thing was basically a boss-level creature, and we did not have the capabilities to deal with it, so we left them to their own devices, sadly. Plausible deniability. We have not since informed W.A.R.G that we knew this happened, so that might be interesting. I believe we then came down here. We found the planet Tartesso. Tartesso is an ecumenopolis planet, which means the whole planet is an entire giant city. And we were fortunate enough with our rolls there to pick up this guy. The Owo combat drone, which has its operating system run by an old digital pet operating system. So it's basically a Tamagotchi siege robot. And so he's been with us ever since. Where'd we go next? I think we came down to here. We found the Endeavor, which was another W.A.R.G ship. These guys were headed off to a battlefront. We don't know exactly what or where. And we rolled up some stuff on the Oracle and found out that they were heading out to disrupt a propaganda machine that was being run by the Medusa Syndicate. So they were asking for an exchange of some gear, and we happened to have a rifle that we didn't need because our character doesn't really use guns and all that. So we traded that to them. We got some favor. I think we got favor from that. And we carried on our way. We came down here. We found the ISF settlement. ISF is the Intersolar Federation. They're kind of the guys that are trying to hold the world together. They're, you know, from one angle, the good guys, but they're pretty mercenary with how they apply their judgments, and they're kind of the scientists, government, politics, space cops. So we spent a little time here, went into the cybersphere, and while we were in the cybersphere, we actually got a pretty fantastic hack. I think hacks in this game as like spells in other games. I was perusing the rules the other night, and I remembered, or I was reminded, that slots 4, 5, and 6 are actually locked. You have to unlock these slots to have extra memory. So we do need to do a little cleanup here. We're going to keep OO, of course, but this Trojan hack we're going to take off of our memory bar, and we're going to put it into our inventory. I know that seems weird, but that is indeed how it works. You can put memory slot items into your inventory. Actually, we could put it in the ship's cargo. That's probably a better idea. Let's put it in the ship's cargo. Hack. What hack is it called again? Trojan. Put that over here out of the way. Thank you, Pepper. I will turn it down. I appreciate that. Let me know how that is. Alright, so we throw that in our cargo, and we get rid of it here. And we're going to move Parasite over. I wonder if this is going to mess with my formatting. It probably will. Yup. Can I do that? Yes, I can. And there, housekeeping done. So, we came out of the cybersphere, and we ventured next. Where did we go? We went up here. We found another settlement that is run by the Synth Arch. Synth Arch are like... Last stream I called them Synth Arc the entire time. Now I'm calling them Synth Arch. The Synth Arc are like android, cybernetic, people that kind of want freedom and life options and choices for synthetic beings. In the history of this world setting, which is not sketched out very, very deeply, but we did find out that there's an element that they were kind of used in the war effort, and so coming out of this war, whatever it was, however far back it was, they just want to be their own people, and there's kind of a religious connotation to them as well. They're like the synth apostles, and they're like kind of preaching. Very interesting group. I do hope we run into them more. We currently have 2 favor with W.A.R.G, and we are enlisted in W.A.R.G, which these guys are sort of your revolutionaries, like your Star Wars rebels, kind of. All about, you know, workers' rights and this and that. But it'd be interesting to see if we stay in alignment with what their mission is, or if we branch out and do our own thing. So we'll find out. We came up north. We immediately got smacked by a solar flare, and that damaged our ship. So we came back here, recovered, went back up, and found a third settlement. This one's run by Corsair, and I don't believe we even did anything here because we don't have any affiliation with them. We don't want to pick up any missions with them necessarily. These are basically your space pirates. That's the loose idea of it. But if we interact with them more, we'll look up more. We took a mission at some point. When did that happen? Somewhere along the way, we came through this sector of space. We got a neutral encounter, but it came up empty, which can happen, which means that it's there for you to explore again later. Awesome. Thanks, Pepper. Appreciate it. So this guy came back down here. This is the planet Icarus. We did a W.A.R.G mission here, but I think it was later. So I might be getting the order a little bit wrong, but essentially we found this ship, the Sisterhood, which was a W.A.R.G ship that we found had been basically damaged by an ISF fighter or warship. So we actually helped them repair their ship, and I think we got our second favor with W.A.R.G from them there, and that's when we got the mission. And we came over to Icarus. We did a mission for W.A.R.G where we were attacking basically an ISF storage facility, because we had just seen the damage that they had done to this ship, and we thought that was not cool, guys. So we ended up taking out those 2 guards. OO came out, and he was blasting them with minigun fire, and we were able to actually take them out with our mind hacks. So narratively, I said that we did not kill them. whatever W.A.R.G leadership thinks about that. Tried to convince them that prisoners of war are better than corpses. So, anyway, we came around at some point because we came back and explored this planet for the planet's sake. If you get an event on a hex, you can still do the standard exploration rolls for it. So we explored here again and found a chasm, like this open chasm in the Earth. And this is like a desert planet, and it's way out here on the outer rim. And in that chasm was like an entire city that had been completely abandoned. And there was like nothing there. It was all picked over, and that started to get me thinking, because while we were here talking to the Sisterhood, we met a character named Pearl, and she's the engineer of the ship, even though she was like a lab technician in a past life. And the Oracle told us that there's something about her that she is trying to get vengeance for. So we don't know what that is yet because we didn't talk to her about it. But when I was over here, I started to think, I wonder if ISF had anything to do with this city on Icarus failing or dying. And so we asked the Oracle, and it was a yes, but I think was the answer we got. And so my interpretation for that result was that they didn't actively destroy this city, but they did kind of just decide at some point, like, it's not on the right trade routes, it's not advantageous or beneficial, and so they just kind of like cut it off of all support and let it die. That's where we ended last session. And the very next thing we were going to do, even though our mission today is we want to get up here to Gemini Field. This got placed on the map because when we became a part of W.A.R.G, the faction proper, it says if they're not already on the map, put them on the map at the hex of the lowest number. This is hex number 1. They go clockwise, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it spirals out from there. Hey, Heppo. Good to see you. Tortuga. Everybody's rolling in. Rolling on in. You didn't miss a song today. Just didn't have it in me. So the mission today is we're trying to get up to Gemini Field to start taking, potentially, more W.A.R.G missions. Because we have a lot of unexplored hexes, and if our missions can send us to those hexes anyway, then we're kind of doing double time. We're actively pursuing quests and getting rewards, and we're building out the map as we go. Again, if you're new to the game, there are 2 win conditions to this game. I shouldn't say 2. There's 1 win condition to this game, and it's to do these 2 things. You are supposed to fill out this entire map. So you visit every hex and do an encounter there. And you are also supposed to complete your faction's main event missions, or whatever they're called. Let me see here. I'm going to pull it up on my iPad. I'm down to 2 screens because I'm on a real computer now. I don't just have the 3rd screen, which is the laptop popped up. So we'll see how much of the PDF I can show. I tried to do some shortcuts that might work, but we'll see. Right on, Pepper. Thanks for stopping in. We will catch you later. So yes, these are the faction events. There's one that triggers when you're at 2 favor, one that triggers when you're at 5 favor, and one that triggers when you're at 10 favor. And that 10 favor one is kind of the finale of a playthrough of Astroprisma. So we've got quite a few hexes to get. We've only uncovered, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of 36. We're not even halfway there. And there's a lot out here waiting for us. So, again, the mission is to get to Gemini Field today, but we have interpersonal reasons that we want to come back down here. And we're not going to say, I don't think, that we're like meeting up with the ship again, because that kind of implies that the ship has just been here, sitting here this whole time. But what I am going to say is that the Sisterhood is in this sector, and so we can hail them on communications, is how I'm going to think of that. Generally, I tend to take each cycle of this game as roughly a week of in-world time. That's just something that I kind of felt out and felt right to me. There's no prescriptive thing about that in the book. And the music has stopped again. Please restart. Okay. So that's what's up. We're coming over here, and we are going to send a communication to Pearl, who is, again, the mechanic of the Sisterhood. When we met her, she was wearing a lab coat, which indicated a different past, that she's joined up with W.A.R.G since then. And we know that there is something... there's something to do with vengeance and her. So we're going to ask her some questions about this city settlement that we just found on Icarus. Here, the city that was abandoned by ISF support. So, here we go. We are going to probably go straight to the Oracle. And we're going to get our results, and then I'll do a little bit of writing. The way this works, if you haven't seen one of these streams, is I'll pause sometimes, do a little bit of writing, and then I'll read you the content that I wrote. It's better than doing the awkward, like, reading it as I'm typing it, like a robot. You silly program, why do you keep stopping the music? Just play until I tell you to stop. Why are you being this way? Okay. And also, I'm going to try, when we get to specific locations, settlements, cybersphere stuff, the titles of the tracks on the Astroprisma soundtrack kind of give you a clue on what track is supposed to be for what types of places, so we'll try and punch those in. Okay, what was I saying? Oracle. Let me test my little hotkeys here, because I should be able to. Ta-da. Okay. Good. The other benefit to this is when I'm looking at the PDF, I can't see the other stuff, so I won't confuse myself as to what you're seeing. So, let's go to the Oracle. So what do we want to ask, I guess, is the question. Let's go to page on this thing. Let's go to page with cover. There we go. What do we want to ask? We want to ask if she knows anything about the city, I guess, first and foremost. So that's it. Does Pearl know anything about the city? And immediately making myself out to be a liar, because I'm going to come over here and write that down so I don't forget what I asked. We're at cycle 16. We're back to outer ring 27. And we're going to call this Chat with Pearl. And here we go. Giving it to the dice. It's a 4, which is a yes, but. We're just visiting her because we're thirsty for knowledge and nothing else. Oh, bless you, Hippo. Alejandra, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Actually, I don't know what part of the world you're in. If it's day, night, whatever's going on out there. Hope it's good either way. So, question. Does Pearl know anything about what happened on Icarus? We got a yes, but. So let's think about what that might be. It could be that she does. Maybe let's go with her family was there. That'd be something to be vengeant about, right? Especially if they didn't, like, survive. You know, we don't know if they got, like, taken off-world or anything, or if anybody did. So, I mean, that's pretty straightforward and clear. That's probably what we'll go with. A yes, but. What else do I want to ask while I'm here? Okay, well, let's ask the open-ended question. So if you see on the Oracle here, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which are just your no and, no, no but, yes, yes, and. But then you can also drill down, so if you roll 2d6, it'll throw you into this little category, which are just keywords. They're like little prompt keywords. So let's try and not have our subconscious dictate the whole story. And we'll see what keyword we get to work with. 2 and a 1, which is suspicion. Okay. All right. So I think Pearl believes ISF lied about why they abandoned the city on Icarus. I think Pearl believes that it was actually a what's the word I want to use? I think you know what I'm getting at, though. I think she believes that it was done on purpose to cripple W.A.R.G in particular. So maybe it was more of a, working city. Maybe they were mining resources out of Icarus. And, yeah. That's what we're going to go with. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of writing. Let's do my shortcut hotkeys there. And you guys can just vibe with La Musica as long as it does not stop on me. Please. Thank you. Of course, now it's not shuffling. Or is it? Whatever. I'm going to write a little bit, and then I'll be back with you guys in a moment. Yeah, Tortuga, I'm in a writing moment here, so I'll read this out when I'm done with it. I was just thinking I should put something up on screen when I do that, but we'll get there.
Seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Okay. Sorry, that was a long one. It was a long scene. So, we asked the Oracle, does Pearl know anything about what happened on Icarus? We got a yes, but, and we kind of fleshed that out. So here's what happened. I said, ever since we met Pearl, I've been curious as to what befell her in a previous life. What tragedy set her on this path of vengeance, this, sorry to say it, ugly part of her that makes it hard to see the rest. If I'm to join up with W.A.R.G, which I have, I should probably start getting myself familiar with what draws people to this cause, what we're fighting against. I know ISF can be jerks. I saw the damage they did to the Sisterhood, and I helped W.A.R.G take out that supply depot on Icarus earlier. But I can't help but feel I'm still missing part of the story. And finding that dead and abandoned city in the near sector of space where Pearl is staffing a W.A.R.G ship makes me wonder. I hail the Sisterhood once I'm within the sector. They're off a few million miles still, but the comm range is good enough within any given sector. I get their comm tech, and after a brief pleasantry, ask if there's any chance Pearl is available to speak. When the comm lights up with her face, hair pulled back smartly, and glasses set in a perfect framing of her face, I feel something inside me, even though I may not want to. Just the loneliness of space, I remind myself. Cadence, it's so good to hear from you, she begins, putting me at a disadvantage with her energy. I hear you've joined up with W.A.R.G. Looks like your first operation went pretty smoothly. Thanks, I say, a little bashfully. Damn it, I'm a starship captain, for God's sake, not a teenage girl. I was actually wondering about something, and, look, I'll just say it. I was wondering if you had any personal connection to that city in the cleft on Icarus. My scanners picked it up on my last flyby, and I had to stop to take a look. If it's too personal, you can just tell me to shove it, I say. I've never seen someone soften and harden so much at the same time. Pearl, reluctantly at first, but picking up bravado as she goes, tells me the story of Halo, the city I'd encountered. It was a mining town, good people, bearing resources out of the desert caverns of the planet. Not easy work. They had to fight off xenopredators as a daily course. That is, until ISF deemed the planet of minimal importance to trade routes. They let it dry up, die out, didn't even facilitate a transfer of goods or people. Thousands died. She's particularly venomous at this part, and I push. I have to know. Yes, members of my family were there. Members of my family were lost. We converse for a bit longer, long enough for me to understand that Pearl is convinced, despite any specific evidence to the contrary, that ISF intentionally cut off Halo, not because of its position on trade routes or its usefulness, but to strike out at a W.A.R.G cell that was growing there. I thank her for sharing her tale, and tell her I'll keep her updated if I hear anything else about Halo. Any sort of clue that what she's onto might be true. I was hoping it was something less respectable. I was hoping I wouldn't keep cruising the stars and seeing her in my dreams. The spark is still alive. We did not kill the relationship. There's still a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. So that's the story of Pearl. Now, what are we going to do with that? We did roll on the Oracle table earlier, and we asked if ISF intentionally basically killed this city, and it said no. But we could choose to read that Oracle as in this is the common knowledge of this subject, and maybe there's a different truth here. We could choose to read it as if it were 100% true and Pearl is in the wrong. The freedom of a solo TTRPG is that though you can get guidance from the oracles and you can kind of try and feel things out as they go, the emergent, this scene, which I just spat out on the spot right now, the scene narratively seems to be pointing in a different direction. If we find out that W.A.R.G is a group that we want to be affiliated with, we continue to be affiliated with, if we feel like the arc of this game and the story is a W.A.R.G versus ISF showdown type of a situation, then it stands to reason we might call that earlier Oracle into question. The Oracle then provided us what we knew in the moment, but we're allowing ourselves to challenge its truth as we develop the story. So I feel like my intention is to be fluid with that and let that develop. I don't know. And I'm not trying to decide at this point if Pearl is right or wrong. But we do know that she would be interested to know the truth. If we bring her evidence either confirming her suspicions or allaying them, either one I would say would give us another affinity point with her. And so that's going to be kind of a side quest of ours that I'm going to throw on the quest board so that we remember that that's something to do. Yeah, I feel like it can be a bit of both. ISF could have literally not done it because there was a cell there, but it may be that if there weren't a lot of discontents, yeah, exactly. I mean, this game doesn't really have good guys. It's just kind of like who you ally yourself with, and you tell yourself the story that they're the good guys because now you're among them. It's definitely a game that pushes you towards asking those questions. And you could just play this like Rock'em Sock'em Robots and just go beat up the guys that you decide are bad and just rah all the way through. But I like the opportunity for a little introspection. So yeah, that's the story of Halo on Icarus. I'm actually going to put a little note there so we don't forget that city's name. Excuse me. Get some more tea down my throat. I am feeling much better than the other day, but still not all the way through. Okay, quest board. Discover the truth about Halo. And you know the other nice thing about that is when I generated Cadence, her thing was about acquiring knowledge, and her keyword was velocity. So she wants to know stuff, and she wants to know it fast, which is also why I said, you know, she's going to immediately turn around and come and talk to Pearl. She wants the context, and she wants it yesterday. Okay, we moved to sell, so our energy went back up to 20. We got to spend some fuel. Zip. And again, I made this sheet. I took the actual sheets from the book, and then I painstakingly crafted this whole Google sheet so that I could play this digitally. I did post also in the Discord, I saw a comment from Crescent Chimera that they are working with a third party on a digital version of the game. And so it'll be interesting to see what that looks like, if it's going to integrate with an existing tabletop or if it's going to be its own standalone thing. So that'll be cool. Also, I think I heard that sometime in March is when people are going to be able to order the game. That's the last I heard anyway. So update there. Okay. Thank you. It was a project of some considerable hours and tweaking and iterating. But I got a lot of the actual graphics from the book I was able to screenshot and put into this thing. I think it used to be even more flashy, but I needed it to be more reduced. Okay, cool. We are now going to try, generally, to head towards Gemini Field. That is our objective today. We want to get to the W.A.R.G settlement up here. Sorry, up here. We also know that we went through this neutral cell, so we're probably going to swing back through there and try to pick up an encounter on the way. Ha, 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 yes. Just for the knowledge. We're thirsty for knowledge, Hippo. So, loose plan. We can fly through here. We know that's not a problem. We can go through here, get our neutral encounter, which we should not be in any peril about. And then, strategically, I think we want to clip this hex out, this outer ring hex, and then dip in, and then get to Gemini Field. So that's the route that I'm currently planning. That can change if we get attacked. Need to refuel, need to this, need to that. So that's going to be the plan. So we're going to double move back to this neutral cell. And I'm going to make sure I track that because that's what this game is. It's a tracking game. So 17 brought us to outer 26. And I just write, oops. I just write traveling. And then 18 goes to outer 25. And we have a neutral encounter. You can see this pre-populating. We rolled a 1 last time. And we rolled a 5 this time. So we're going to go to the neutral table and see what's up. Actually, we're going to need another d6. So it's 5, 1. So let's go there. Exploration. Neutral encounters. And I will... Guys, I'm getting good with hotkeys and stuff. So 5 is radio signals. Right here. And then we got a 1. So our prompt right now is... to zoom in. That's our prompt. Please, Adobe. You always do this to me. Thank you. Go away, white box. You're screwing up my thing. There we go. Okay, you receive a weak audio signal. The log data reflects that it was sent decades ago. You play the recording. A shaky voice says that a nuclear warhead is directed at their lunar colony 1 tile southeast. Well, it won't be 1 tile southeast. Your radar shows that there's now a nuclear moon located at these coordinates. Spicy. I'm going to copy paste that into my log because it pretty much says exactly what it says. Oh. Then I got to do my formatting dance. I don't know why this one copied so strangely. This is the content everybody's here for. You can't even see what I'm doing. Nuclear moon sounds cool. I don't know, Hippo. We might have to go fight some, like, irradiated monster thing. Yep, there it is. We're going to find out. We are going to find out. First of all, I'm going to try and do this by the rules of the book. So here we go. First of all, we're going to change this to radio signal. And I'll keep that yellow. That's fine. Yeah, I know. I just wish they wouldn't. Wish they wouldn't copy weird. Okay. So if we are in the outer ring, which we are, and we had rolled up a planet, our options would have been either 2 moons, a medium-sized planet with 2 moons, a ringed planet, or a giant planet. And since the game has already told us there is a nuclear moon here, it is as if we had come into the outer ring, rolled a planet, rolled this for 1 to 2 moons. And so that is what I'm going to say is there, which means we got a lot of exploring to do here. Okay, let me go find my little icons. We got medium planet, 2 moons right there. There we go. So, we got to roll a bunch of stuff. Let's come back over to the PDF. And we will go to the planets. And we will see. Planet generation. We need to roll 1d6 to figure out what type of planet this is. And then we also need to do another d6 to figure out what the second of the 2 moons are. So, I think that's all we need until we actually decide where we're touching down. So 5 and 3. So we have a Sylvanian planet. And that is right here. Sylvanian planets are biodiverse with a high humidity atmosphere and rich flora and fauna. Lush rainforests and jungles populate their surfaces, along with shallow inland seas and swamps. The high density of predatory alien life has made them difficult to explore, with most planets being still largely not settled. There is a cool, well, I don't know if it's a cool encounter. There's an encounter on these where you end up saving some people from some other people. And anyway, in my first playthrough, I ended up keeping that as like a base of operations. There's like a little remote base there, and that's where my character retired to at the very end of it. It's pretty cozy. With her partner. Because all games are about love and romance. Yeah, it's the single biome planet problem of sci-fi. I don't know how you solve it. I don't know that you can. I think it's just one of those things you just kind of go like, yep, this doesn't make sense, but we'll accept it. At least Eidolon, we know, is like going to be diverse and everything, right? Okay, now let's figure out what kind of satellite there is here. In addition to the nuclear moon. Oh, that's rich. It's another nuclear moon. I don't think so. I just don't think so. because the other one has such a story to it. I don't want to double up nuclear moons. So we rolled again. We got a frost moon. Okay, so let's start logging some of this stuff so I don't forget it all. Could definitely use a third monitor in my life. Oh, I put this in the wrong cell. I was like very confused for a second. All right, this is cycle 19. And we're going to try and use number locks so that it actually types numbers. We're on outer ring 24. We got, I could imagine. Yeah, and I talked about this in I think it was maybe my inaugural stream. We were just kind of chatting about sci-fi in general. And like, you look at like a fantasy setting world book, and that entire fantasy setting world book is about one planet or place, or maybe even just one continent. And it's an entire book of hundreds of pages. And if you can imagine like generating content for an entire planet, I mean, it's wild. It is wild. So, we know that we had nuclear moon forced by prompt. And then we also knew that we got 5 and 4. So we got a Sylvanian planet and a frost moon. And we're going to name all these bad boys all at once because it is tedious to go back and do it later. I can promise you that. Okay. Here's my planet names, D100. So the planet is called Lagoon. Sounds like a nice place. We're going to bold that, and we're going to turn it blue, because I don't think we're going there necessarily right now. I think we should go to the nuclear moon, because of Cadence's curiosity from this radio signal. Frost moon is going to be 2d20. That's a 2 and a 11, which gives us beta shield. Interesting name. Bold and blue. And lastly, we have our nuclear moon. Oh, that's a name and a half. Omicron Omen. Yeah, that's what you'd call a moon that got nuked to hell. So, let's get our little points of interest things here, because we're not going... Well, actually, hold on. Bear with me, sorry. Thinking through this, Frost Moon is more likely to be the outer orbit one. Mark that for later, and we're going to mark that for later, and we're going to this moon right here. That's what we're doing. The lagoon could be jungle-like. Oh yeah, the whole planet's going to be jungle-like. We'll see what we get when we actually land on it. Okay, so now we're also rolling our landing site and an encounter for the nuclear moon itself. So that's 2d6 more. 2 and 5. Oh boy. Cross your fingers. 5 is a high number for an encounter. So, let's read quickly about the Frost Moon. Frost Moon's natural satellites composed of ice and water. Frost Moons are the most common celestial bodies that contain water. Their surfaces are hard to traverse due to their cold temperatures and geysers. Some Frost Moons have a subsurface ocean of liquid water. It's like, what, Europa? Around Jupiter? Europa's the ice one with the under ice seas, I think. Nuclear moon. either due to failed attempts to terraform their surface or because of the damage caused by nuclear weapons. Ta-da. During past wars, nuclear moons have high levels of radiation. Some of these moons have toxic and threatening ecosystems composed of dangerous mutated alien life. So we know this was decades ago. So we don't need to be like, oh, does this have something to do with Pearl as well? This was decades ago. It was during a war. Maybe... Yeah, I caught it right when you... Caught it right before you put that there. Maybe we should roll to see... Well, let's think. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Would Cadence know from the transmission who was bombing them and why? It says it was a weak audio signal. It was sent decades ago. There's a shaky voice that says a nuclear warhead is directed at their lunar colony. I don't know. I don't know that we're gonna... I don't know from that there's necessarily enough telling us that we would know who was involved in this, but that's fine. It probably doesn't matter. What does matter is number 2, where we land. Green mist engulfs a swamp. Creatures climb up the trees to avoid touching the toxic water. That's a vibe. So we'll roll that into the encounter as context. And we'll go to nuclear moon. Number 5, abandoned ship. You find an abandoned twin rotor hauler at the center of a crater. The navigation controls are still operative, and its engines have power. Wow. Something must have made the crew leave the starship suddenly. 300 meters to the east, you find the bodies of 4 crew members with giant claw marks and corrosive wounds. So that actually lines up pretty well with these swamp irradiated creatures that are nearby. So we're going to touch down, we're going to retrieve 2 health packs, and we're going to get the hell out. Unless there's anything that we want to particularly think about what to do here. Yeah, not deadly. Not deadly at all. The 6s are the ones that'll get you. 2 health packs. All right, cool. Let's go back here. And I guess we could put a twin rotor hauler on the map. If I can find it. There you are. Tiny little ship on a moon. Look at that immersion. Don't you guys feel immersed? Okay, so essentially, let me reread that landing prompt. Green mist engulfs a swamp. I'm just going to type it word for word. Totally immersed. This is actually a really good soundtrack for this section here. I might loop this for a second. And then I'll say... So I'll write this up quick, and then I'll read it out to you guys. This was going to be quick, but I got a cool scene idea, so it's taking a second. Okay. I say green mist engulfs a swamp. Creatures climb up the trees to avoid touching the toxic waters. Nearby, I find an abandoned twin-rotor hauler in perfect condition. Nav systems, engines, all appear to be working. Whomever came to explore this moon, like me, made the mistake of sticking around too long. It only takes me a few moments to find their bodies, clawed and marred by some being native to this forsaken place. I'm just thinking about how I wish I had what I needed to do a proper gravesite when it hits me. I summon Owo from the cargo bay and fire him up, letting him blast a hole in the ground big enough for the 4 crew members together. Owo doesn't really have arms per se, so I do the heavy lifting of putting the bodies to rest at the bottom. It's messy business, but better than nothing. Owo shuffles his mechanical legs forward and backward, pulling loose earth from the moon's surface and essentially backfilling the mass grave. I'm sweaty and tired, and I don't really have the time to deal with this sort of thing. I'm supposed to be heading to Gemini Light, but either way, I make note of the coordinates. There's a free spaceship out here that W.A.R.G might like to take advantage of. Ta-da! Hey, Logan. Hope your Saturday's going well. We're being good people out here, burying dead crew members, as you do, and getting free health packs. So let's up our health packs to 3. I think I mentioned this before, but like items stack in inventory, so you could have 300 health packs. It would still take 1 inventory slot because that's just the way it is. Because it says so. Okay. So that was nice. We did a little burial. We've got some coordinates. I should make a list of like things to tell W.A.R.G. 1, their ship that got completely destroyed by an alien. 2, location of a new ship. See, we found them a replacement ship, so it's fine. I mean, the other ship might be destroyed. I don't know. Kron Omen. Cool, cool. Are we ever going to do spaceship combat in this game? It's a little unusual that we haven't had one yet. But let's take our fuel out for that hex and for the next one. So we're down to 15. We should probably heal. Because if I run into something and our ship gets boarded and I find out, oh, I should have been healed to full before I did that, I will be upset with myself. We could have just gone to Crater Dome, but whatever. Let's just roll it. We just got 2 free health packs, so D10 plus Vigor. That is a D8. Let's try again. Let's grab the right die this time. Okay, we healed 10. Full health. You'll love to see it. Much better. Okay, off we go. Next cycle. What awaits us here? Rolling all the d6s on this one. 2, 4, 6, 3, 2. Okay, to the PDF we go. And we are in the middle ring now. Okay. We got a 2, which is a middle ring event. Nice. Then a 4, which is even, which directs us to a research outpost. Nice. Then a 6, which brings us to here. Oh, looks like we're getting some more loot. A fortified concrete building stands out from the side of an asteroid. You find an old dossier named Atlas Project inside with detailed plans for the creation of cyborg super soldiers. You log into a computer terminal connected to a robotic surgery unit capable of installing cybertech on your system. You may power the unit by spending 10 energy. If you do, choose one of the following implants to install: titanium bones, force blast hand, or trigger fingers. We just keep running into really good stuff. All right, let's go look these things up. It's in a weird place. Here it is. So titanium bones, force blast hand, or trigger fingers. Titanium bones gives us +1 vigor, and +1 armor, just permanently. Sounds not sketchy at all. Listen, it has a dossier. What more could you want? It has a dossier. That legitimizes everything. Titanium bones is an option. If we were to go buy that somewhere, which I think you can only do at the Synth Arc, it would cost us 3 experience and 100 serum. Trigger fingers, +1 grace. Your ranged weapon attacks deal +d6 until the end of the fight. So you have to activate this as a side action, and it costs 2 energy. We don't want to be playing with our side actions because we already have OO. Okay, listen. There's some bonus ones for you. What was the other thing I could get? Oh, it was a force blast hand. Where's that? Oh, it's right here. Also gives us +1 vigor. Your melee weapon attacks deal +d6 until the end of the fight. Okay. So we're taking the titanium bones. Basically. Yeah, we just find a random abandoned lab, and then we hook ourselves up to a machine and give ourselves metal bones. It's like licensing agreements, right? You're just like, I have it right here. It's perfectly legitimate. We are in the future, presumably. Usually also when you get cybertech, you have to go to a settlement to have it medically installed. But this, this is the DIY. We're in the DIY here. Titanium bones. Just pure upside. Vigor goes up to 1. Armor goes up to 1. You love it. You love it. And that is all it says. This is designed by Frontera Corp. A whole corporation, Alejandra. It's legitimate enterprise. At least this product is. +1 vigor, +1 armor. Hippo, you're making me wonder. Oh, no. There's no you in armor in this book. That's just you. That's just you, buddy. I think Crescent Chimera designed this out of Italy, I think, is where this was initially designed. I might be completely speaking out of my backside, though. All right, well, we gotta write that up. We also gotta put it on the map. So we know it was a research station, right? Is that what we got? Middle ring encounters, research outpost. Yeah, so the names just don't line up. Fixed. Slap this thing in here. Okay, and then we'll reread this and make sure we properly integrate this. A fortified concrete building stands out from the side of an asteroid. Wild. That is pretty sketchy now that I reread it, Alejandro. It's pretty sketchy. I mean, super soldiers. You know, it is what it is. What do I want to call this? Oh, I'll just call it Atlas Project. We are the Atlas Project now. Where was that font color I used to make it stand out on the yellow? Good enough. Okay. Now it's time to write it up. Cycle 20. Gone through 20 turns already together. Isn't this fun? We're having fun. I'm having fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is hex number 10. Just titaniumified your bones at a military scrapyard. You know, anything to get ahead. I mean, also, remember, her keyword is velocity. She's not about, like, thinking it through, necessarily, right? I think, actually, in defiance of my own good practices recently of writing everything up on the spot, this is kind of its own little isolated thing, so I'm going to come back and write this later. Because it's just going to be internal monologuing about hooking myself up to a machine and getting metal bones. Wolverine style. And we just got to pick up the claws and we'll be good to go. Yeah, I'm just going to say, prompt to be written later. But your girls got metal bones now. There. Pretty much. Pretty much. Both in-game and in the fiction of the game. Very much definitely take the chance to become part super soldier. Every time, without fail. All right, let's go into the inner ring and find out what it's got for us. We're almost to Gemini Field. Look at that. Inner ring 2. So. 5d6 coming out again. Six, 2, 1, 6, 5. Let's go back here. Inner ring. 6 is a faction encounter. Fun. We need a d10 then. It's a 2. So, factions. A 2 is Corsair. Ooh. Glad that they're not mad at us about anything. So that's going to be neutral because we don't have negative faction with them. So it was faction, Corsair, neutral, 2. So it's this one right here. The Bulldozer. An old and crusty Edge Charger W cargo ship contains a boxing ring built for clandestine fights, a common pastime in space pirate and mercenary circles. The spacecraft follows a nomadic route, avoiding confrontation with ISF patrol ships. Our options are to get in the ring, fight opponents to gain rewards. If you win, fully restore your health and energy and move on to the next fight. First space pirate, then a bounty hunter, then an outer ring crime boss. And you get rewards along the way. If we win all 3, we get a total of an insane amount of serum and a +1 favor with Corsair. So we just got titanium bones and we stumble upon a boxing ring. You can't make this up. That's so good. That's too good. Hold on, I gotta format this. Well, look, Alejandra, we're not gonna tell them that we have titanium fists. That's none of their business. And, well, actually, I'll look at the stat blocks and I'll make a decision on this because there's no reason we couldn't be able to use OWO. I mean, this is not like the ISF Boxing League. This is the Corsair Boxing League. They're probably just like, yeah, whatever. Anything goes. Battle bots. Like, go for it. All right, let's mess up some pirates. I'm here for it. I'm very here for it. All right. Sorry, I'm not showing you the right screen. No, I believe, no, this wouldn't be a fight to the death. Yeah. Nothing indicates that sort of thing. It just says if you win, you restore your health, so you go into the next fight fresh, basically. The other thing we can do is we can take our other narcobiotic drug to boost our mind before we go into these fights. And so then we can just zap people. It's going to go great. So, I guess I should figure out how I want to put the guys on the screen. Pull it up over here too so I can look at it in 2 different places. So first up is a space pirate. Let's find the space pirate. Looking, looking, looking. I passed it somehow. Ah, there you are. Okay. Let me quickly throw this together so I can put it on screen. Just going to do a quick hack job with MS Paint, the OG. Should be able to do it like this, and like that. That's our opponent right now. We'll see if we can beat him. Okay, so he's got 15 health. Loser. 2, 2, 0, and 1. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's fair for me to use Owo in this boxing match? Like, he's just a normal guy, right? Let's see what he's got. He's going to have a shotgun in this fight. He's going to have a heat bomb. Okay, yeah, anything goes. Screw this guy. He can pound sand and fight a robot. Okay. Let's get some initiative rolls going, which is D10 plus grace. And I beat him on that. So that's going to be an 8 for us and a 6 for him. Not that it matters. Oh, Hippo. Hippo. Yeah, he does. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I haven't thought through this too hard. This prompt is kind of like, you know, is what it is. Okay, well, here's what it says. It says, a boxing ring built for clandestine fights. Boxing is more of a legacy term. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to get too twisted about it. I'm just going to run the fight like it's a normal fight because I got to do 3 back-to-back, so. The last one, I think, is a boss level fight, so we're probably going to get smoked. But we'll see. We will see. Yeah, we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. I just got to remember what Cadence can do. Basically, we're going to do first turn main action, deploy Owo, side action, have Owo do his thing. Of course, there's always the chance I could one-shot him with Hack Javelin if I rolled high enough. But let's take our Stratagen Hormone. Boop. Don't do drugs, kids. Unless you're playing a fictional game. So that puts our mind to 4. Oh, we still have our frag grenades, too. What do we want to do here? Oh, that's right. We picked up that gravity rifle, too. Or we were issued it. Standard issue gravity rifle, D12 plus grace, which is 1. I'll tell you what we'll do. We will not deploy Owo in this first fight, because Cadence is going to be kind of like hustling. And then in another fight, she'll pull it out, and they'll be like, what the hell? That's what we'll do. So then, first thing Cadence is going to do, and this is, we're at 4 mind now. I think she's actually just going to go for the double combo, the parasite, and then the javelin. No, I'll just go straight for the javelin. My odds of hitting are pretty good. And if I don't hit, you guys get to see what the malware table looks like, so that's fun. I'm still going to have a side action, though. So many options. Maybe I'll toss a grenade at him anyway. For a side action. That's what we'll do. Okay. So, first thing we're going to do is... I forgot already. We're going to do hack javelin. We're going to try to beat his mind score. And we did. We got an 11 versus his 2. That was a resounding success. So we're going to do D12 plus mind damage. It'd be funny if we just crumpled this guy right now. Nearly. We got 9 plus 4, and then minus his armor. Gives us 12 damage. And he goes down to 3 health. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And I guess, you know what? Let's toss a grenade at him, because why not? No. Yeah, no. What can he even do to us? He can overheat. He can hit us with a shotgun. We're going to heal to full anyway. Let's not use the grenade. We'll just wait it out. See what he does. He got a 4, so he's going to hit us with a shotgun, which is rude. D10 plus vigor. So it's 8 damage to us, minus 1. Which is 7 damage to us, right? If I can do math. And we go down to 13. And on our turn, we are just going to use our main weapon, our gravity rifle. It simply just works. It does D12 plus grace. So there's a chance I don't take him out here, but it's low. And we did it. 8 plus 1 minus 1 equals 8 damage. And we've won our first fight. Boom. Next. We also get 75 serum from that. By the way, that is how you avoid doing math on stream. You do everything in a Google Sheet, and then you just do a formula. Okay, next up is a bounty hunter. So let's reset and redo it. Figure out what this guy's got going for him. Bear with me. Okay. Yeah, this is... Yeah, Owo's coming out for this fight because this is some nonsense. Saving graphical assets. Stand by. Look at this guy. 25 health, 3 armor, 3 vigor, 3 grace, 0 mind, which is good for us. 2 tech. He deals damage on 1 through 5, grenade 6 through 7, flash grenade 8 through 9, or he will permanently 1-up his stats. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. This is a no-holds-barred kind of situation. Alright, let's get his stats in the sheet here. The very formal sheet. Yeah, wow. WoW was right. We had some trouble here. This is why we're glad it's not a real fight. The next guy, if we get to him, the crime boss, has 90 health, 4 armor, 5 vigor. Yeah, this is a late game opportunity. Okay, let's roll it up. See who's smacking who first. Was that a 3 or an 8? That's a 3. Unfortunate. So we have an initiative of 4. He or they have an initiative of 7. So they go first. Lots of vigor, lots of grace. None of mine. Sounds like the perfect himbo. And we're back to defy the gods. Maybe. Let's see here. Turn 1. Actor is Bounty Hunter. Let's see what he's got in store for us. EMP grenade. So he has to do a contested vigor roll against us, which he'll probably pass. Yeah, that happens when I roll a 1. He only rolled a 2, though. It's too bad. So the grenade is a success. If you succeed, all enemies are silenced for tech turns. As we learned last session... Oh, no. That's actually bad now. We actually have cyber tech. Crap. He just turned off our titanium bones with a grenade. Silence for 2 turns. Yikes. So we're silenced for our first turn or second turn, so we'll silence round 3. This will fall off. Or until round 2, I guess. Okay, armor goes down to 0, vigor goes down to 0. Lame. You know, it's an EMP grenade. It shorts out the, it's cyber tech, right? So I have titanium bones, but they're like wired into my neural circuitry, right? I don't know. So maybe it's just slowing me down so like I could still punch and they're still hard, but I'm like reacting slow or something. I don't know. They fight dirty on the spaceship brawling ring. So anyway, I think it's time to bring OO out. That's probably a good move. Let's see, where is OO? Where are you, buddy? Mascot of the stream. Oh, wait. If I'm going to bring OO out, we got to have dancing fighting OO. Okay, what is his deal anyway? Got to remind myself how to do this right. Bear with me. Yes, you use the main action to deploy, then you can use side action to control. And he has a passive that will not bypass this guy's shield, so that sucks. But we could do, again, same choices as before. The double minigun, 2d6 plus tech, or the missile strike, d8 times tech. There is a part of me that almost feels like we should really lean in for like high damage roll fishing to see if we're going to have a shot against this guy. Oh, that's a really good way to put it. Sorry, you're hidden behind here. The tech is what helps you move the heavy, super dense bones. Jamming it sounds painful and cumbersome. That is a really good way to think of it. It is really good. So, yeah, the ceiling on Missile Strike is considerably higher. I could do a maximum of 16 damage, less 3 from his armor, for 13. And that's half of his health, but that's the ceiling. The minigun, I'm going to average 11. No, I'm not. I'm going to average 9. If I did 9 and he took off 3, that'd be 6. So I'm averaging 6 damage a turn, and we're talking about 4 point something turns of just OO to take him out. I'm going to live on the edge. We're going for the missile strike. He threw a grenade at us, okay? So we're going to shoot a missile at him. Dang it. Okay, I rolled a 2, so we dealt 4 damage. Minus 3 is 1. But we were out here being bold and daring greatly, and that's what matters in the end, right? That's what matters. Let's try OO. Okay, he's got a 2, which means he's going to use his helix wire, which is basically like a it's like a whip thing, but it's like energy whip coil. Again, all the art in the book is like silhouettes of the weapons, so not much to show. It's just a little missile as a treat, you know. Let's put this. Oh, I've got to have it up here because of the way I'm doing. No, I can't put it behind. There we go. Now I'll stop blocking your chats. Helix wire is going to deal D8 plus vigor. D8 plus 3. We're in trouble. And I'm probably not going to expend any healing in this either because it's not looking good. Oh, he rolled a 1. Haha, you'll love to see it. Except for I wish my armor was up, but we'll get it back. Okay, our turn. I think I go for the parasite. If I go for parasite and I land the hack, I don't have to roll for javelin from here going forward. He'll be breached and he'll take double damage from javelin plus OO can just keep blasting. I think that's the strat. And I still don't have any hyperdrive, so I can't re-roll anything. But I have very good mathematical advantage on this roll. Let's try and get this hack to land. No! I rolled a 6, which is pretty good. I get to add 4, which is really good because that's a 10. Which means he could have only beat me with a 10. And he did. What a jerk. What a total jerk. Stupid bounty hunter. So now you guys get to see what happens when you fail and you roll something on the malware table. I'll pull this up for you. We have not failed a hack yet before. Imagine if this is the first time anyone brought out guns, and now the pirates are furiously writing addendums to the one "be yourself and have fun" rule. It's rule 0, Alejandra, you know? Rule 0. If you lose, the hack fails. So here it is, yeah. For a hack, you roll mind against the enemy. If you lose, the hack fails, and then you are infected with malware, which I thought was on this page, but it's not. It's on this page. Okay, let's just gush a little bit about the design here. Do you see all this? This is actual text. These are like the malware strings of data that are like messing up your brain, and they're just so like they're so elegantly just like hidden there that when you just scan the page, you don't even see them. That's so cool. Okay, let's figure out what happens to us. If you notice, if I roll a 10, I learn a random hack. A random one. I got a 1. Nothing happens. Hooray! Oh, yikes. Yeah, I know you were saying on Blue Sky that this is a vibe for you. Okay. So we fail, but no malware effect. Now let's have the main character take his turn. That's OO, of course. And I'm swinging for the fences. I really am. So we're going to go with the missile again. Oh, my God. It's another 2. Jeez. Okay. Okay. So, actually, this would have been round 3. Because there would be 2 rounds where my stuff is not active when he is. So still no armor. All right, Senor Bounty Hunter. Let's see what you've got for me. 9 is a big number. I don't like that. Flash round. Roll vigor against an enemy. If you succeed, all enemies are stunned for tech turns. Please fail. Please fail, dude. Just fail. Okay, he failed. Thank goodness. I did not want to be stunned. So stun is kind of it's a really swingy mechanic in this game as a condition is concerned. Stunned, basically when you start your turn, you roll 1d6, and if you roll a 1, you don't get to act. So you have a 16% chance of just nothing. That comes in handy when there's a lot of enemies on the field. All right, so he tried to use what? Flash round. It is a slap fight right now. He took what? He took 4 HP from me. I've hit him for 1 twice with missiles. Not magic missiles. Those would be doing better. Flash round. Fail. Also, by the way, these guys have effectively limitless inventory. So they might be packing like 10 flash rounds. You never know. All right, our silenced falls off. Our armor goes back up to 1. Our vigor goes back up to 1. And you'll have to see it. I kind of just want to run back the last turn again because the outlook looks a lot better if we can parasite this guy. So let's try again with a strong advantage. I got a 9. Plus 4 is 13. He got an 8. Plus 0 is 8. I also heal 2. Because that's what Parasite does. You heal 2 for every affected enemy. And this guy is breached. And he's in trouble. He doesn't even know it yet. I think we won. I think we've won this. I don't want to jinx it, but... I would laugh so hard if OO just takes him out. And I don't even get to use the breach. Let's go, OO. Better. Better. OO got a 3 this time. I should actually say missile strike. Not that I'm keeping records of these anyway. So we got 3 times 2. That's not how 3s work. 6 minus 3 equals 3. Look, he's down to... We're almost even on health now. That ain't so bad. Round 4. It's a 6. It's another... it's another EMP grenade. Alright. Do your best, dude. See if you can hit me. He misses. Now we're doing good. I got, whatever I got. Oh, wait, actually, what is his vigor? Did he miss? He got a 6, and I got a 9. Okay, yeah, I'm good. We're good. Now let's bring the hurt. Also, problem. Hold the phone. Someone has not been counting any of their energy. I might be running out. Does it cost energy to deploy the drone? No. Good. And that is a good reason to stop using Missile Strike, actually, because it's cost 6 energy twice now. Hold on, let me do some auditing here. Here's a Missile Strike. Oh, we're out of energy. Good thing I just remembered this. In fact, I illegally spent more energy than I should have. Whoops! Might have to roll that back. How much does Parasite cost? Oh, I didn't copy that over. It costs 3. Okay, we're in violation here. So that cost 3, that cost 3. So we're at 24. So we accidentally spent 4 more energy than we should have been able to. I could do this with a side action. I'm going to do it with a main action for the integrity of the thing. And I'm going to use an energy cell. That's just going to be how I correct it. Slight nerf to myself. D6 plus tech. 4. Okay, so we're at net 2, which means Obo still can't do anything. I'm just gonna use my full turn and do 2 energy cells. And I rolled a 1. Man. So we're at 5 energy, and we don't have any way to get more. Yikes. Definitely screwed that up. That is why we don't use Missile Strike. I guess I could go back and just change the Missile Strikes to whatever, but live and learn. Live your consequences. So Owo's got either 1 more Missile Strike in him. Yeah, next turn I can do 1 Javelin, he can do 1 Missile Strike, and then we're going to be completely out of energy. So let's hope this dude doesn't, like, kill me in the meantime. A 2 Helix Wire. This is going to hurt. I feel like this is going to hurt. No, not too bad. He's got 3, right? Yeah. There's 5 damage. We're down to 13. Okay, moment of truth. This is when we put it all on the line. I do not have to roll to hit with this. I just get to roll damage, and it does double. And it's D12 plus 4. Okay, that was a 12. 12 plus 4 times 2 is math. 32 minus 3 equals 29 damage. Could have just one-shot him in the start. And we win it. Oh, pulled it out. Pulled it out in the end there. This is actually narratively, like, this would be a fun scene to write out. I'm not much of a battle write-out type person, so you'll probably never see that from me. But, so it starts off, he lobs a grenade at me. I go, you asshole, lob a grenade at this. And then I deploy a giant mech that fires a missile at him. It does minimal damage. He whips out, like, an energy whip and hits me with it. I try to hack his brain. It fails. Another missile flies through the arena. He throws another grenade. It fails. I try to hack his mind. It works. I fire a missile at him. He throws another grenade. It fails. I recharge my energy. He hits me with his laser whip, and then I just turn his brain off. Don't let me stop you. Don't let me stop you. I did say elsewhere, though, if you ever draw anything for this campaign, I will lose my goddamn mind. How much do energy cells cost? I think they're like 25, something like that. With the money we've just earned in this arena already, we can easily rebuy that stuff. I'm not going to say I can rebuy them now, but I think our energy goes back up to 20 for the next fight, which we will lose because he's got 90 health, but it should be fun. Hope you guys are here for it. In fact, we'll probably wrap up the mechanics of this fight. We'll get our asses smashed into the ground. And then we'll fly up to Gemini Field. And then we'll probably call the stream there. Unless I get like a second, third, fourth, whatever wind. 2 to 3 hours is kind of my target. Oh, yeah. Oh, we well more than made back our money. Energy cells cost 30. They sell for half, but... So we used about 60 serum worth of equipment by being dummies. But we have already earned back... If I can get to the right page... Yeah, this would be so much harder if I didn't have my iPad. Wrong page. We have already earned 200. So. Plus 125. Yeah. Almost 250 serum total. All right. Okay, oh, chill out. Chill out. Chill out, oh. Just looking at our equipment again. And in our equipment is an item that removes silence, so let's try and remember that. Let's try and remember that for the next fight that we didn't even think we were going to get to. All right, goodbye, bounty hunter. Let's do another quick, sloppy MS Paint job. Actually, I wonder if I can even do this faster. I'm going to try something, and if it works, I'll be very happy with myself. Let me make sure. Yeah, Outer Ring Crime Boss is a boss. Oh, we also get experience and loot on top of the money we get from this fight. So we'll crunch that in a little bit, too, once we die to this. I wonder if I can just do this and do the little screen capture and then come over to OBS and if it'll let me paste. No. No, that was bad. Did I break something? I just duplicated that scene. Okay, let's get rid of that. Oh, what, the money? Money comes and goes, you know, it's life. Although we could, I mean, if we get enough money, we can buy, like, spaceship parts. Not that we apparently ever use them in this game. Still find that funny. Not a single spaceship fight. Alright, look at this bad guy. There's a lot of text there. Let's cover up. Let's put it top right. Okay. 90 health, 4 armor, 5 vigor, 2 grace, 1 mind, 2 tech. On a 1 to 4, he shoots us with a laser. It ignores armor. Cool. Cool, cool laser, dude. On a 5 to 6, grenade. 7 to 8, grenade. 9, 0G liquor. He bides his time and does 2 moves in the following turn. On a 10, gives +1 to all his stats. Can't be stunned. Well, I don't have anything that stuns, so that's not going to bother me. I think we actually might be okay. This might be a bit of a slog, to be honest with you guys. So I hope it's still entertaining, because we're going to have to be chip damaging this guy from the heavens if he can't take us out. Oh, is that, yeah. Yeah, there will be events that will force us into spaceship fights eventually. Eventually. Okay. Let's set up for the smackdown. It is really kind of entertaining to me, though, how much the loot that we found in the game so far is completely shaping all of our combats. The fact that I can just breach people with Parasite and then take them out. Pretty great. All right, what's this guy's stats? 90 health. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm even writing that in a sheet right now. This is the level of strength that we were almost up against in the very first cell we went to with the monster in the spaceship. So energy is only consumed for hacks and drone actions. So you can still use weapons, items, everything else. So I would just start shooting him with my gravity rifle if it came to that. But this fight, we're going to play smarter, and we're going to have OO just do the miniguns instead of the missiles. Especially since the upside's not really there. It's just fishing for high numbers. This guy does have a mind stat of 1. So he's a little more mentally strong than the last ones. But we'll initiative it up. Not good for us. Not good for us. He goes first. Yes, yeah, we do have a rifle. You can actually have 2 separate weapons at the same time. and just choose whichever one to use. And then there's also weapon mods you can put on and all that stuff. We might actually take our winnings here, and when we get to Gemini Field, buy ourselves a good weapon that actually aligns with how we're built, and then put some mods on it, and that'll be good. Because you can get a mod that bypasses enemy armor, which is really nice. And W.A.R.G settlements are the only place you can buy weapon mods, so we'll take advantage of our affiliation and do that. All right, crime boss coming in hot. He rolls a 1, and so that's actually not good for us. And he rolls max damage. So man. All right, let's type this out. This is gonna be quick. 8 plus 5 bypasses armor. And we're down to 7 health. Our turn. I don't even think O is coming out. I think I'm going straight for the hack parasite, because I'll heal 2, which might make the difference between living and dying. And then, well, I don't know. Then it's just a matter of if he rolls poorly to not attack us. Otherwise, we're going to get smoked. But we'll see. We'll take this to its conclusion. Yeah, the this is fine reaction. I hacked him. I did it. Versus 4. Success. We heal for 2. Okay. Now, even if he shoots us with the rifle again, as long as he rolls a 3 or less on a d8, then we're still alive. Oh, I also get a side action, though. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. Oh, I just finally thought of a use for this 0G liquor. If I use the 0G liquor for my side action now, then next turn, in a hypothetical fight where we weren't doomed to lose, we could deploy Owo and have him take 2 turns. So we can't have him take a turn now because he's not out. But this would allow us to basically recover. It's almost like getting a free action from Owo before he's out. That is a use for that. That's probably not going to happen. Do we use a health pack? We have made quite a bit of money. We could use a health pack. He is hacked, so I can start doing pretty decent damage to him if I roll high. Let me think about this. He's going to take double damage from Javelin, and that's D12 plus 4. So at minimum, that's 5. That's doubled to 10. Take out the 4 from his armor, and I'm dealing 6 minimum every single turn. There's a chance. There's a chance, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to use a health pack. Okay, 1 is the wrong number to roll for that. Well, we healed 2. We're back up to 11. Yay. All right, Mr. Crime Boss. Why is my brain not seeing my D10? There it is. Okay, he's coming in with the laser blaster again. This is it. Let's see, what number will take us out? He's got his laser blaster plus vigor, and he bypasses my armor. He needs to deal 11 damage, so he needs to roll a 6 or higher. Here we go. The D8. 6 or higher, we get our butts kicked. It's a 3. We're alive. It's a 3. Okay, fun fact. If we had not healed with Hack Parasite and that health pack, we would have been dead. And if I hadn't used the health pack, we'd be at 1 HP. We're still in it. We're still in it. I don't have any good, well, I don't have any good side actions to use. And all I'm doing is raw damage. So I'm just banking on him not rolling stuff that damages me, I guess. I guess, play to your outs, as they say. Also, D12s are fun to roll. An 11. Dang. 11 plus 4. Doubled because of Parasite is 30 minus 4 equals 26 damage. See, you know, narratively, though, we're getting some respect out of this crowd here, I think. So that's 70, 64. Side action, cry. All right, let's actually track our energy this time. We used Parasite and Javelin, so we're down to 16, which is 15 more than 1, and 100 less than 116. It's a little bit, you know. Usually you might have like 2 or 3 or 4 crew members with you against a boss, but, you know, we're doing what we can. Doing what we can. Okay, do we have any good side actions available to us? Really? No. Because we're going to keep hammering the Javelin, and we're not going to bring OO out, sadly. I mean, we could, I'm not going to throw a grenade. They're kind of useless to us anyway. Whatever, we'll throw a grenade at the guy. Let's live a little. No. That's a no. No, just no. Is this the end of us here now? Is this it? Yeah. Yep. Minimum damage takes us out. So this guy's a crime boss, right? We come to fight him in this, you know, illicit arena. And he goes, I shoot you with my laser blaster 3 times. This is literally what happened. He's just like, pew, pew, pew. And we did not beat the crime boss. We didn't think we could, but we went for it. Okay. I think we should be proud of that. It was a good moment. We did not get any favor with Corsair, but we got 200 serum, spent about 100 in items. But that's life. That's life. Yeah. He's just like, who are you again? I shoot you 3 times. We got to build this guy out as an NPC. We gotta. Right? I don't know how much of a journaling headspace I'm in right now, but at least we can fill out this stuff. Let's see. Let's do it. I'll do a little writing here. I might go back and backfill it later, but I'll do a little bit of writing. So I'll go off mic here for a minute. And then we'll build this NPC guy together and see where he takes us. All right, we're back. So here's our entry for this cycle. The Bulldozer, an old and rusty Edge Charger W cargo ship, contains a boxing ring, built for clandestine fights, a common pastime in space pirate and mercenary circles. This spacecraft follows a nomadic route, avoiding confrontation with ISF patrol ships. I've never been one to shy away from a fight, especially a fight that looks this fun. And what girl doesn't want to test out her titanium bones on some suckers? If I entered with any sort of cockiness, the first round did nothing to temper it. I wiped the floor with the guy and didn't even have to bring out Owo. I'm not sure if anyone here has seen a combat mech like him before, so I'm more than happy to leave him folded up in his little box shape to let them wonder. The second fight gets a little more interesting. I'm mentally drained and exhausted by the effort of taking down this bounty hunter. It takes everything Owo and I have to down him. Guy likes grenades a little too much, and I'm able to dodge out of the way of most of them, leaving me time and space to set up my counterattacks. In the end, I go back to Old Faithful, keep him dancing on his toes with ordnance from Owo, get into his head, flip the switch. He crumples like a sack of potatoes. God, I miss potatoes. Defying all my expectations, I'm into round 3, and it's a long shot at best. I'm not even able to get Owo into the arena by the time I'm getting shredded by this crime boss's laser blaster. Picture him sitting in a chair, one leg crossed over the other, the blaster resting on his knee. Now picture him shooting me 3 times in a row. Dead on, everyone. That's what this fight must have looked like to everyone else. Pretty embarrassing, but I did manage to get in his head a little even. There we go. Now the question is, I think we should do an NPC, but I was thinking we should do the crime boss, but then I thought, it might be more interesting to do the bounty hunter. But what do you guys think? Potatoes. Boil them. Mash them. You may even place them into a stew. What do we think? Crime boss, bounty hunter, or the scrub that we wiped the floor with in the beginning? Let's pick one. Kind of leaning bounty hunter. You guys don't have any opinions. Let's see. I also got to put a ship on the map here. That's what I'll do while we're waiting. Great. One for bounty hunter, one for crime boss, one for ask the dice. You guys are the best. You're the best audience anybody could ever have. Just kidding. I love you. Love you all. Oh yeah, let's throw in the first little guy too. Just a nice 25% distribution across all answers. Oh, you can't make that up. You can't make it up. All right, let me get a ship on the map. You guys fight it out. This is a specific type of cell, pirate hideout, but that's kind of what this is. Well, no, it's not. It's not because it's a ship. Do I have ship tiles on the next screen? I do. Here we go. What's up, Zach? How you doing? Hey, you're going live later, right? I don't know if I'll be able to raid you if you're not already there. Good to see you. Oh, Zach, I need you to I need you to weigh in on something because chat is being the best people, okay? But they have split a vote completely even tied across everything. We just fought a space pirate arena on a ship. And we're trying to figure out if we want to make an NPC out of the bounty hunter, the second guy we fought that we beat, or the crime boss, the third guy we fought that completely smoked us. There's so much power in your hands right now. We like it even Stevens. What was I looking up? That's right. I was looking up the description of this. Oh, it is an Edge Charger W. That's right. So I can actually get the actual ship. And let's put... I know I was doing green for neutral encounters, but dang it, Zach, no. That is a fifth option I hadn't considered. Gosh, I'm the worst. This is the point where we build the sense of community and the antipathy between us. That's what it is. We were all just kind of finding our place in London Station up till now. You know, it took about 10 streams, and now this is the relationship. I see how it's developing. And let me just tell you, I'm not afraid of the tension, okay? I'm not afraid of it. I know. You're probably right. I think we're going to do both, Hippo. We're going to do both. Zach's right. Zach's right. And I should just expect that. All right, let's throw this little pirate ship down here. Boom. Gotta name this thing because I like to name stuff. Corsair. All right. First order of business that we have to do no matter what. We'll name the ship. Quick tables? No. Random tables. There it is. This is the Siren. Yeah, we'll do both. We'll do both. We will do both. So the Siren. Where's the font color? There it is. Although this ship is not going to stay here. This is just a reminder of what we encountered here. And I know we took 2 fuel to get there. We need to take 2 more fuel off and take a 3rd fuel off. We'll just do all that tracking at once. Unless I'm completely losing my mind, but I think that's the case. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm doing some bookkeeping just so I don't forget to do these things. So that was 8 fuel times 3 is 24. Okay. Then we'll do some generation here. Fair. Fair. I'm not one to bring too much actual like plot and story into solo. Oh god. Oh my god, how did I miss it? It's right there in front of me. More NPCs, more potential love interests. Let me give you the like 1-minute recap of the story so far. We are just an explorer. The game puts you in the center of the world and it's like, who are you? I don't know, figure it out. We flew around a little bit. We ran into some people. We picked up a lot of really great loot and tech along the way. I would say that as far as the story is concerned, the most story thing that's happened is we found this planet Icarus down here in the green cell. And there was an abandoned, like, dead city there. And we kind of put 2 and 2 together that had something to do with this girl who's on this ship named Pearl, who we're definitely not interested in. There's a story there about how the ISF, who are the Trade Federation guys, basically kind of abandoned and let that city die because it wasn't of strategic value to them. Pearl, on the other hand, thinks that it was an intentional strike under the pretense of that. So she's this angry revolutionary, and it's making her less hot, and we're trying to fix it. We're trying to fix it so she can be hot again, basically. So that's kind of the story, is we've now gotten tied into W.A.R.G, which is a revolutionary group, and we're trying to find our place. We're finally going to arrive at Gemini Field, which was the title of today's stream, which is the home base of W.A.R.G. And so we're going to be able to start taking missions from there going forward. Maybe the boss can wear a lab coat. What's your sexuality? Lab coats, actually. It's lab coats. I know, dude. You're Captain Story over there. Absolutely. If you guys haven't caught Zachary streaming, he streams on Twitch. And I'm sorry, I should be using they for you, and I keep screwing it up. But at least if I admit it in public, then I'll maybe remember. They stream on Twitch, and they're currently playing through a lot of Legends of Akaroth, which is kind of a JRPG take on RPGs. So they're building out all sorts of NPCs and guilds and all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, I can't, man. That's too much. That's too much. There's too much going on in this solo game to do that. But we're going to do it anyway. Okay, let's... we named the ship. We got to name our bounty hunter person and our crime boss. We got to give them genders and everything, too. Let's do the whole gamut. Where is the table? Not that it needs to be a whole table for this. There are specific results for masculine, feminine, androgynous. Three and a 3. 2 androgynous people. God, no. Don't do that to me. You append the him onto they, him, because if I depend on the binary assumption, I prefer to at least be mistaken male. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I'll do my best to say it like you want it. So we got 2 androgynous looking individuals. And there is a neutral names table. First one, Flare. Okay, that gives me a sense of that person's personality. So Flare is the bounty hunter. NB Pirates are a classic, though. I know. It's like, man, we got revolutionaries. We've got NB Pirates. Oh, no. Lavender is the crime boss. I'm in trouble. Lavender? The crime boss? Are you kidding me? All right, Astroprisma. All right, I see you. I see you. I should probably put this up on the screen for y'all. Let's do that. And we'll go to the tables, and you'll see what we're working with here. All right, there's the names. We just did that. The next thing I'm going to do, and you don't have to use these tables for everyone, but just as kind of a, it's quick, it's easy, it's right here. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do, we already know their trade. We've got a bounty hunter and a crime boss. I know, a non-binary bounty hunter named Flare. Yeah. 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 I mean, what's in a name, right? But you kind of feel like you already know these people, right? Just based on their name. They're very, very evocative. So let's go for Flare. Flare has an emotional tag of sociable. So do we. So do we. That's our emotional tag. So, I feel like Cadence and Flare are going to get drinks after because they just had this fight and they want to talk shop, right? And they're both sociable, and surely nothing will happen there. Hi. I'm not beating the thirsty allegations, if there are any. This game is not making this easy. Lavender's emotional tag is caring. A caring NB crime boss named Lavender. Why? You know, I guess you're all taking my word for it as far as what these results are. But I promise, it's on video. I'm not making this be as much of a dating sim as it looks like I am. Yes, it is. Oh, no. Well, we've tripled our love interests today, potentially. Maybe they have terrible personalities, okay? It's possible. We'll see. We got to keep rolling. Let's give them look tags. All right, Flare. Oh, Flare's in a lab coat. No. No. Bounty hunter in a lab coat? No. I know. I can't do it. I can't do another lab coat. I just can't. VR headset. Okay. Oh, man. I'm not even sure I know what that means, Alejandra. Not even sure I know what that means. Okay, from this, I'm taking, by the way, Flare's tag for VR headset is basically they are a sociable bounty hunter named Flare that is a gamer. That's what I'm getting there. Hippo, are you frowning because I turned down the lab coat? Look, we need that lab coat to be distinctive to Pearl. We need it. Oh, Jesus. You're not going to believe this next one. Yep. Lavender, the carrying crime boss, is in a prismatic dress. Maybe after the fight, let's say. Oh, Lord. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Oh, God. It's the dice, man. It's the dice. Hey, Cheeky, how you doing? I know. I know. I know. I know. I'm over here like, oh, should we make 1 or 2 NPCs? I'm learning my lesson. Good God. Okay, well, I need to let a lot of this process. This is the best comment I've ever seen. There are a lot of things that you could do that will make you trans. Taking hormones is like the 10th place. Being a bounty hunter gamer named Flare is higher. I can't believe this is happening to me. Oh my God. Prismatic dress that gives 4 armor. That's right. I think it's 3 armor. But, yeah. Oh my God. I'm legitimately speechless that this game would do this to me. This can be a game about space pirates, you know, and you just go and blow people up. Fighting aliens. No, the game's like, oh, here you go, London. We know this is what you and your audience want. That is true. Wearing a dress as a crime boss is a power move. Lavender might have just a ton of people around her. Them. I am getting, like, she, they from Lavender, though. Which is what Cadence is using as well. I need to learn more about pronouns, to be honest. When they mix, I get confused. I get a little confused. Yeah, I'm not in a headspace to write scenes with either of the two of them right now. Definitely, I'm feeling like Cadence is going to go have, like, drinks at the bar with Flare afterwards. And they're just going to, like, talk about their fight. Talk shop. And we'll ask the Oracle, okay? We'll ask the Oracle how it goes. I'm not sure what a scene... I could think of a couple different scenes with Lavender, but I don't feel directly called to one. So maybe what I'll do now... Let's do this. I'm going to seed this for some scene writing. I might do this off stream, or we might do it together next stream. I'll probably do it off stream because I just go quiet and write anyway, and then I just read it to you. So I'll probably do this over the next week, and I'll also fill in that metallic bones situation. Talk only about the fight. Yeah. All right. Let's oracle this up. 3 and a 5. Sorry, bear with me. My nose is running again. One day I'll be fully feeling better. Okay, 3 and a 5. I'm planting the seeds for what this scene with Lavender will be, because we're getting a scene. You don't get an NPC character generation like that and not run a scene. God damn it. Keyword electricity. Should we get one for Flair too? Let's get one for Flair. Just an Oracle vibe check. And we'll see. 3, 4. Control. Okay. So that'll color kind of what conversation they have at the bar. Let's leave notes for myself so I don't forget. Cadence will go to the arena bar with Flair following their fight. And talk shop. Talk shop, Hippo. Just talk shop. This tag for Lavender didn't actually give me, but I do feel like, okay, Lavender's a crime boss, right? Cadence is newly integrated with W.A.R.G, but we're not like in W.A.R.G, and I think Lavender can probably tell that, if they can tell at all, that we're with W.A.R.G. See you, Logan. Thanks for dropping in. Bounty hunting can be linked to gaming when it comes to pursuit of targets and completion of objectives for rewards. Maybe they're addicted to the thrill of the game and the hunt. Absolutely they are. I think Lavender is going to be like, hey, if this W.A.R.G thing doesn't work out, like, what, you could join, like, my pirate cruise. I think that's what that scene is going to be. And I think that... I don't think Lavender will be intentionally doing this, but I think that Cadence is probably... There's probably a little attraction or something there. Her type seems to be strong, either feminine or NB types. So that's Cadence's weakness. Yep. Okay, let me type that up briefly. How do I want to say that? Lavender floats the idea that maybe... I think they're going to come from a place of, like, do you really want to get involved in this, like, ideological, like, conflict between ISF and W.A.R.G when you could just be out here, like, living your best life? Like us on this pirate ship doing, like, arena fights with robots and stuff? I think Lavender's going to appeal to that, like, fun side of her. The only thing that might keep Cadence from signing on is that her driving force was to acquire knowledge. So if Lavender wants to recruit Cadence, they're going to have to figure out a way to do it that couples with her thirst for knowledge. So we'll see how that scene goes. All right, that's going to be fun. And for bookkeeping purposes, we are going to arrive ourselves. Let's see, how did I do this before? Okay, I did it like that. We're going to go do our shopping and such. We'll backfill the scenes later because that's going to affect any decisions we make as far as if we're going to take missions with W.A.R.G or not. But we can do our bookkeeping. We already handled our fuel. We refueled. Got there. Oh, we were going to look at weapons and mods here at Gemini Field. Because this gravity rifle is not the best thing for us. So we can sell or trade that in for something else. Let's look at actually what would be good for us. If we ever find ourselves firing 3 missiles in a row and running out of energy again. All right, let's take a look. There is a mechanical difference between ranged and melee weapons, but it only rarely comes up in the context of like certain types of armor. So it's not, and they have different access to different types of mods. So, oh, these aren't even mods that I was circling. But if we were to look at a ranged weapon, we would want something that adds mind or tech to the damage. Those are our two better stats. I don't think any weapons actually add mind at all. They do not. Thanks for hanging out. Always good to see you. Have a good rest of your day. We got maybe a half an hour left in us. Melee weapons, there's nothing that adds mind either. So melees are all vigor and grace. So we're probably looking at a gun. And this gamma gun adds tech. And it's the only one that does. So that's what we want. We want a gamma gun. On the other hand, D8 plus tech, D8 plus 2 is not necessarily as good as D12 plus 1. So it might be that we just keep the gravity rifle because we don't want to lose two steps of die in the damage. If our tech got higher over the course of things, that might be interesting. But to that point also, our vigor is 1 now because of our titanium bones. So then the gravity rifle is potentially just as good as a pulse rifle, which is 2d6 plus vigor, which is going to have a much smoother curve. So then we're looking at an average of 8 damage. Gravity rifle's really swingy right now. But we already have it, and if we sell it, we're only going to get half back. Let's look at the mods. So, for ranged weapons, what we already have, if we just want to modify it, we can add a silencer, deals half damage, but it doesn't count as direct damage. I believe... I'm trying to remember exactly why that's relevant. I think it deals with like certain types of like invisibility, things like that. I don't remember. Laser accelerator, this weapon ignores enemy armor when dealing damage. That would be a very good thing to have. Reflex sight, if you have higher grace than the enemy, which we probably won't. This weapon deals an additional damage, yeah. Malware injection. If you roll 1 or 2 base damage when attacking with this weapon, the enemy is breached for 2 turns. Now, I've used this before. You get a gamma gun because it's a D8, or maybe even you get a gun with a D6. So, a revolver or an SMG. Either one. Same mechanical difference to us. And then you grab the malware injection because then you are 33% odds that you breach them with your weapon. And that is very enticing to what we have going on here. But let's keep reading. Auto reloader. You may spend 3 energy to attack with this weapon using a side action instead of a main action. That can be handy because then, as far as competing for main actions with OO, to deploy him anyway. But after that, it's not really that useful. Smart aim. When attacking with this weapon, roll base damage twice and keep the highest result. Now, that's really good for a swingy weapon like the gravity rifle that we have. And I know I've done some math on like what 2d12 keep high looks like, what that does for your averages. I think in general, I watched a video from Numberphile, I think, that basically advantage is a net +3, roughly, across, all results. So if you're average on a d12, not that the average matters because it's not a pool, but I guess it is a pool if you have 2d12. Average is... I can't do math right now. Is it 5.5 or 6.5? It's 6.5, right? Yeah, 6.5. So you're looking at upping that to about 9.5, potentially with smart aim. But I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to go for the malware injection angle. And I don't think we want to go melee. So, in theory, actually, we could dual weapon this up. We could get a revolver, put a malware injection on it, and get either smart aim or laser accelerator for the gravity rifle. Choices, choices, choices. How much money do we even have? 222. It's not a lot to work with. We could get I don't know, do we want to spend all this money on weapons? I kind of think we do. We do have enough though for if we want to go revolver, malware injection, and laser accelerator for the rifle, we can do all of that. And then we'll have 2 weapons. We'll have some more choices and options for ourselves. Just trying to think, what does that leave us with? Leaves us with 22. It's not really enough to get any energy cells or anything. Here's what I'm thinking. This is what we're going to do. We're going to buy a revolver. No, we're not going to buy a revolver. We're going to buy an SMG. Because if we get silenced, our vigor goes down to 0, but our grace will not change. So we're going to get an SMG. We're going to put malware injection on it. And then we'll let the rest of it ride. Because we might just encounter weapon mods later on. Other weapons. We don't necessarily want to liquidate the gravity rifle. Because we're going to be losing 75 serum value. Because we only get half back. And we can keep it as an option if we need to fish for some big damage. You're fine. I'm like considering like 7 different shopping cart options here. So we'll do that. That leaves us with about almost 100 left to get some items. So let's figure out what we think is worth buying here. Energy cells would be very good to have. They're better when you roll higher. I think do we still have 2 health packs? We have 1 health pack. So math. 60, 80. So we can get back up to 2 and 2. And we can't buy these except for from Corsair settlements. The drugs. I think that's the move. All right, let's load up. Let's buy some stuff. Okay, we are going up to 2 health packs and 2 energy cells. Restore D6 plus tech. Energy. Okay, that takes out 80. And then we're taking out another 125. To get ourselves, let's move this rifle over here. We're getting ourselves a Gauss SMG. Which is D6 plus grace. We're putting on a malware injector. And let me get the description for that. Malware injection. If you roll 1 or 2 base damage. Barely legible. But at least the text is there. Let's just remove some extraneous language. There. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize how small that was for you guys. It just has to be readable to me. That's what really matters. All right. I might be misremembering something, but I thought when you got Cybertech, you also got free memory slots. I might be misremembering that. I guess we could have just bought a different Cybertech thing with our money, too. Oh, you know what? Okay, one other bookkeeping thing we have to do. And then we'll probably call it. We'll catch up a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. We need to get experience points from those fights we won. And we also need to get loot from those fights we won. So let me go figure out what those guys were again. So the Space Pirate was 3 experience. The Bounty Hunter was 6. So we got 15 total. Which means we could buy one of our roll abilities. Which the one we were looking at was the one that does extra damage with lasers from your ship. So I think we'll pick that up for 10. But yeah, we could have gone and bought more Cybertech as well. So we'll need to get that language here. Let me find it. Here's the roles list. XP and loot. We are a gunner. Nope, wrong thing. Okay, that should be fun. Although, can you only use these once per fight? Is that why it says worded that way? I will find it. Active skills. Crew members can have up to 3 active skills. Okay. Each active skill can only be used once per cycle. Okay. So, next time we actually find a spaceship fight, not only are we going to go first, but we'll be able to activate laser burns. Hopefully we roll out a laser, which, didn't we get an engine upgrade that gives us like 4 dice on the first turn? Yeah, we found those free ion engines. Roll 3d6 action dice every turn. You have an extra one during your first turn. So we're going to roll 4d6, and we're going to try and get 3s, 4s, and 5s, because then if on that first turn we apply overheat to the ship, which means they're going to take an additional d6 of burn damage on their turn when it passes to them. Looking pretty good on the space combat side of things, to be honest with you. Do we want to sell that Trojan hack? Probably just keep it in case we get our memory slots up. That's the other thing I wanted to look up. Bookkeeping. It's probably in the character player sheet information. Memory slots. Your character can have up to 6 unique hacks and drones. These are kept in your memory slots. You start with 3 and can unlock the remaining ones by installing Cybertech implants on your character. But is it all Cybertech? Or does it specify on some of them? I will check the Astroprisma Discord. I'm sure somebody else has asked this question, and I'm sure the answer is here in the book. It's just, it's such a visual feast of a book that sometimes the little rules things you need to find are not super evident. Okay, so we did our shopping. We refueled. I got scene work to write for you guys. That'll be fun. struggling to think of anything else we needed to do bookkeeping-wise. Our faction favor hasn't changed with anybody yet. Anything else in the log? I'll just note that we refueled, shopped, etc. Because we're gonna definitely have some scene work to do. So I'll probably backfill the scenes so that I'll have them ready to read to you guys next time we do this, probably next Saturday. And then we'll do the scenes at Gemini Field together, because that's going to be when we meet our W.A.R.G leadership. We'll have more NPCs to create there. More love interests. That's the way it's going lately. That's the way it's going lately. So cool. Well, I hope you guys are still enjoying Astroprisma. It is a vibe. I'm going to throw on, this is one of my favorite tracks from the soundtrack. I'm going to put it on. Let's turn off my favorite tune. This song is such a bop. The designer of this game wrote the game, playtested the game, did all the art for the game. They also made this soundtrack. So they made this by like chopping up samples and everything. This song is called Cloud9 Casino, because there were a bunch of expansions, like little trifold pamphlets that you could get from the Kickstarter. I didn't get any of those, but there's actually an expansion that came for free to everybody that adds on some additional layers of story when you go from hex to hex. So when you've played enough and you're kind of like, okay, I see the familiar flow, I want to add in a little bit more juice somewhere, you can do that. But just listen to this song. It's such a vibe. And I don't know how well the bass track is coming across on this, but if you need to look it up later, Cloud9 Casino. It's just a really good song. All right, let's close all these windows on my computer. Right on. Cool. We'll let this song take us out. But for those of you that are still here and able to chat, if you got any questions or thoughts before we head out, now's the time to share them, ask them, whatever it might be. It's been a lot of fun. We are still have not been doing this for a month yet. Next week will be the 1 month mark of the channel. So kind of crazy. Kind of crazy to think. But it's been a great time hanging out with everybody, making new friends. The song's not coming through. Yeah. Hold on. I've been vibing. Sorry that I muted it. Here you go. Hey guys, this is a really great song. Yeah, we're wrapping up here in just a little bit, Zach. Just chatting on the way out. And I wanted to call special attention to this song because it's amazing. Yeah, 1 month, but we're not at 1 month yet. It's 1 month in a week. This is the 3-week day. And we've kind of found our footing, which is nice. It's such a good song. Can't believe I listened to it for 2 minutes alone, but, glad you can hear it now. Yeah, user error. I just had it muted on this scene. Cool. Well, let's see. Oh, I just saw you rolled for the bounty hunter or the boss in the Astroprisma channel. Hippo, that's funny. I could have done it that way for sure. Anyway, not sure what I would need to do with the rest of my day. I do need to keep working on prepping my Legend of the Mist campaign, which I'm using the setting book adventures, so I don't actually have to create it from scratch. But I also need to make sure I actually know how the game works in place. But that'll be fun. I'm also going to be in a Fiasco game on Thursday. I've never played nor read Fiasco, so I got to get that done sometime this week. Monday is going to be a heck of a day for me. Got to go to a after-hours meeting for work that will probably go till 9, 10 at night. So that day's gone. But hope you guys have better things to look forward to in your week than that. What else? Tomorrow. What am I going to stream tomorrow? That's a question I should think about and answer. Last Sunday we did the romance stream. which seemed to be very well received. Doesn't necessarily have that many viewers, but the people that were there liked it comparatively. So we could do another topical thing. I know I was floating the idea, and I even made a thumbnail for it, about talking about getting characters to fit in groups and parties, and how to avoid the pitfalls of being like the, we call it the lone wolf, but I also kind of call it the wanderer. Just the character who's like, oh, I'm just passing through. And it's like, how do you make them stop passing through and actually be here with us? Even if you're going to resume wandering after the fact, let's get you like invested in something, anything. Dear God, please, anything. So that might be what we do tomorrow. Do another London hour, kind of on a nice rotation of simulator Saturdays, London hour Sundays, and Discovery Core Wednesdays. Kind of incidentally has happened that way. Maybe that's a good schedule. I'm also considering, because there's so much I want to do, and there's games that people want me to play, that I might consider going to do Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. And I wasn't doing Tuesday, Thursday because Knights of Last Calls streams Tuesday, Thursday, but they would start 2 full hours before me anyway. I don't think it'll be a problem. And we definitely have different content, so it's not like we're overlapping super hard. And VODs exist, so I've given some thought to that. I think I can easily fill 4 streams a week by adding in a gaming stream one of those nights. And I would like to, because it's fun to game with you guys as well. So, thinking about that. I don't know what else is coming up. Hopefully I can feel better and start singing songs again. I miss singing songs. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, no, that's something to think about, is overload. But, I don't know. I'm kind of finding myself feeling like I've got more to do and fewer slots to do it in than I would like. Of course, I'm also getting ready to launch a mission in New Dawn, and I'm getting ready to launch a campaign for Legend in the Mist. So, well said, Hippo. Maybe we'll wait and see how those things go before I make any schedule changes. Very wise. I'm glad we could arrive at that together. Well, yeah, thanks. I am feeling better, quite a bit better, just not 100%. It comes and goes. So, with that said, that was Cloud 9 Casino from the Astroprisma soundtrack. Absolute banger. The whole soundtrack you can find on YouTube. And I think it's on Spotify as well. And if you want the tracks for yourself, you can go to Bandcamp and you can actually purchase and download them, have them as MP3s, which is what I did because I'm an old school person who likes to put the music on my phone directly. That's what I do. So with that, the song has ended. It's going to play us out. I'm going to switch to the ending stream and let's see. Almost forgot to do the thing that I normally do, which is see if I've got friends streaming. I know Zachary was going to go live. He is not yet. So anyway, keep an eye on that if you want to go see what Zachary's up to today. Zachary just hit Twitch affiliate, so they're doing all the fun configuration of their redeems and their channel points and all that cool stuff. So it's been a good time. Like and follow and subscribe and everything like that. Welcome to Akado, boom, newest passenger, who joined the channel sometime in the middle of the night. So glad to have you here if you're ever here in live chat. Love to hear from you. That's all. That's it. It's a rambling end today, but we got a lot done in Astroprisma. I hope you guys had fun. A lot of fighting and a lot more love interest to come. So, right on, Hippo. Thanks for being here. You're being pokey. Yeah. Well, we'll swing by, myself and those of us who've got the time. And we'll see you guys next time on London Station.